curious as to how you would explain to a non-believer or a Protestant who does not believe in the real presence of the Eucharist, how you make it understandable.
Sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the question. So I would begin with the words of Christ, of course, and it's Christ that gave us the promise of his real presence in the Eucharist. This is my body given for you. This is the chalice of the new covenant in my blood. Do this in remembrance of me. Or John chapter 6 when he says that my flesh is true food, my blood is real drink. So it's the word of Christ that we have, all right, that confirms to us the truth of the doctrine of the real presence. St. Paul says anyone who takes the body and blood takes the sacrament, the communion unworthily, is guilty of sinning against the body and blood of the Lord. And he warns against receiving Holy Communion without discerning the body and blood of the Lord. So the scriptural basis of the doctrine is plain, as well as its confirmation in sacred tradition. Now, how do we make sense of it? Well, one thing that I would point out is that Catholics do not believe that Christ is present in the Eucharist in the exact same mode or in the exact same way in which, say, Tom is present here in front of me at this table at EWTN. Now, Christ is present physically, all right, he's present physically, but he's not present in a quantitative way. Let me explain what I mean by that. All right, Tom Price is sitting in front of me right now in a quantitative way. I could literally measure him up. If I put him on the scales, you know, I'm guessing he would weigh over 150 pounds, all right?
Yeah.
He'd probably be somewhat under 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know, just rough estimates here, Tom.
Thank you, my
I
friend.
could probably, and I bet he's over 40 years old, you know.
Possible.
I could probably take your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels, too.
Yeah.
You know, I could come up with a quantitative measurement of how much Tom Price is in front of me. And if, God forbid, I took a machete and chopped off one of his arms, there'd be less of Tom Price in front of me than when I started. Okay? Quantitative. All right. That's not the way that Catholics believe Christ to be present in the Eucharist. He's not there in a quantitative way. Rather, he's there substantially. He's really and truly there. But if I break a host in half, I don't have half of Jesus over here and half of Jesus over there. I have all of Jesus under each and every particle of the host and in each and every particle that's in the chalice. All right. Now, that's obviously a mysterious way of being present. It's one that the human intellect cannot grasp. I understand it. I know what's meant by the terms, but I don't have any experience outside the Eucharist of that kind of presence. But it does resolve some of the difficulties. When you understand the doctrine, it resolves some of the difficulties. So somebody says, like Ulrich Zwingli, for instance, said if it's a real body, you know, it can't be in more than one place at the same time. Well, that's not true. That's true of a body quantitatively, but it's not true of a body substantially. Since Christ is not present in a quantitative way, there's nothing to prevent him being present in more than one place at the same time. Okay. It also explains